Hello, welcome back to Overclock Showcase. I have just got off the back of recording, well, a while ago now, actually. In fact, it's long ago. It's long ago enough. I mean, I've actually gotten other news since then, but I just recorded that 44-minute dev diary video because of the video that GoShip put out, which was really cool, by the way. But I am, well, maybe not uniquely, but I am positioned to record the next Overclock Showcase. Because it is the wonderful gas recycling. I don't know about wonderful. But, well, you'd know if you watched the end of the last episode that this is what I got. And gas recycling is an overclock that I'm very familiar with, but have not much fondness for. Which I shouldn't really say, because I've always had a soft spot for it. I've always had like an eye on it for some reason, and I was very happy when it got buffed. But I don't know if I'm going to overall come out of a positive conclusion on this one. I got to a point where I'm happy with my builds pretty quickly, but it's only because, frankly, I kind of want to move on from gas recycling. I don't want to have to use it for any more days than I already have. It's just, it is a boost. It does make the Zhukovs stronger, but I don't think it's a very fun overclock, to be honest. So it adds significant boost to damage and arm breaking, but I don't really count the movement speed too much. It shouldn't be completely looked over. It definitely is important, but I don't factor that in too much. You have a movement speed penalty, mainly an accuracy penalty, and no weak point damage bonus, which is... Yeah, so you do end up with more damage, and you also have the benefit of being able to damage the enemies from anywhere. It's why it's essential that this overclock has armor breaking built into it. It didn't used to have that, and that's why it was bad. It was really bad before it had that. Now it has that. It means it's a lot better. If anything, I would still suggest literally just straight up adding. I think it should still be able to break armor. I think it's actually a fine thing for it to be able to do. I think it should also just ignore armor as well, as far as its damage goes, because it still has to get through the armor to do the damage. So like something like a shellback, for example, it's still going to have to break in each individual piece of armor before it can get through to the flesh underneath that individual bit of armor, which means when you're shooting a rolling shellback, it's not going to immediately start doing loads of damage. I think this thing should be both break and ignore armor, to be honest. That could actually give gas recycling some more weight, because the accuracy penalty is pretty significant. What is it? I suppose it's plus 50% base spread, which might not sound too bad, but my goodness, it is. It's I feel like it's bigger than that, to be honest. But yeah, so it's just a sheer damage overclock, but with a but it's unbiased to weak points. In fact, it specifically doesn't want you to target weak points. So I've always seen it as you can take gas recycling is an overclock on the sequels that you can take in the direction of single target or crowd clearing. That's kind of the way I see it. I haven't really gone full on the crowd clearing. It's just because I just find it a little bit too tedious the way the Zhukovs work, because obviously you need to take blow through, and if you're working with blow through as your main source of crowd clearing, you need to be lining enemies up and whatnot. And I just find that to be somewhat dubious for it being your main source of crowd clearing. It is what the other build focuses on, but not this one. This is all in on damage, and basically I've taken the steps to basically make a build where, because of the spread, you need to be up close to deal your damage. So I've taken the steps to create a build where you're very comfortable doing that. And I came to the conclusion that electric reload is sort of what I honed in on. Now, it doesn't quite make sense, because really what it should be is actually, it really should be the Drac with aggressive venting. That's what it actually should be. Because you can just easily take the electricity mod and just have this crazy source of fear and crowd clearing on your primary. Honestly, the main reason I didn't do it is because I know I'm going to use it later on, because what you get from having fear is ability to fear Praetorians and expose their weak point. Much more useful for a Zhukov build where you're using one of these two, custom casing, dominant magazines, where you actually do retain your weak point bonus. Therefore, you also have reason to take the weak point bonus. This overclock both nullifies the ability for the weapon to deal bonus damage to weak points anyway, and nullifies the ability to add anything. Literally, nothing happens if you take this upgrade, which is kind of crazy. That I actually think is wrong, by the way. I don't think it should work like that. I don't have a problem with it losing its base weak point bonus, but I think you should still be able to add it from this upgrade, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it makes sense that you can't do that. But anyway, I settled on electric reload because it basically counters the fact that I find gas recycling extremely inefficient. So I just thought, like, what is the most efficient thing I can just use to take out hordes of enemies and easily pick off low HP priority targets, and supplementary DPS for bigger targets, and provide the electricity needed to activate conductive bullets in tier 5 for the Zhukovs. It was always going to be electric reload. It's pretty overpowered, to be honest. So basic electric reload build with ammo and armor breaking. Armor breaking is not essential, but I find it useful because bullets that hit armor without breaking it don't embed themselves. So I just find it more useful for electrifying. I think there are reasons to use weak point damage on this, because especially if you're going free, you can build electric reload for damage. It's going to be doing a lot of damage in our build here, but not in that way exactly. And stun is just going to be a nice useful thing. Obviously, it looks kind of counterintuitive. Suddenly, my console thinks it's a PC. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's so weird. Might seem counterintuitive because it's like, oh, so you are aiming for weak points, are you? So, well, yeah, I mean, to stun them, sure, because I'm not gaining that much from these. I mean, improved gas system, maybe, but also not really. Our fire rate is very good. 8 per second is fine. Zhukovs, all damage, therefore a bit more in the magazine as well. All damage and ammo where we can take it, because obviously what going all damage means, we still have the opportunity to take this ammo upgrade. So we have 20 damage per shot, and conductive bullets. Stun Sweeper as well. Stun Sweeper is really going to help with things like Praetorians and Wardens and things like that, just to keep them in place, stop them from being a threat, because obviously we do have a range issue with gas recycling, as you will see. That accuracy is very harsh. So I've just lined up for myself a fairly quaint standard point extraction. It's got Gunksies as a secondary objective, which I will do, so that's going to force them to stay around for a bit longer. But gas recycling is not an overclock that holds up under harsh conditions, in my opinion. Don't know how I knocked my earphone out there, but I did. And you'll probably see that. Like I said, I'm probably not going to come out with a particularly complimentary takeaway for this overclock, despite the fact that I have liked it for a long time. I've always seen potential in it, and I think they did some of the things to get it there, because it used to do even less damage, by the way, so which is just ridiculous. They gave it more damage, they added armor breaking, but it's still, I don't know, it's just not. I think the Zhukovs are a weird one. They are a weird weapon, or weapons, you know. There's two of them, I suppose. Anyway, there's I don't want to be here for too long. Let's just get on with it. One of the just absolute glowing changes though made to electric reload at some point, obviously a while ago now, is the ability to one-shot swarms. Oh, that's death. I get used to things in a very counterproductive way. I get used to things in a way that makes me entirely forget what it's like when I don't have them. In that, purely because I technically use heightened senses more than I don't by having it on the other 3 classes, it just means I forget about cave leeches. Even though I never use heightened senses on Scout, it's just a sheer frequency game. It's just the fact that I use it 3 quarters of the time. That's all it is. It's really dumb, and I feel like an idiot whenever I get grabbed by as a Scout, because it happens a lot. Anyway, so gas recycling and kind of Zhukovs in general, it's always a target game. It's like, what can you really justify targeting with your, frankly, pretty limited ammo supply? And I find it starts at guards and does not go any lower. Guards are basically the lower limit, the absolute floor of what you are going to be killing with the Zhukovs. Anything weaker is an absolute no-go. I consider it a complete waste. And that's why electric reload is so good, because it can basically kill anything weaker than that with a single shot. I believe with slashers it's best to put in a couple shots beforehand before reloading, but grunts and web spitters specifically, easy one shot. Same goes for swarmers, of course, as I already discussed, but that's not even with the reload. You could just, the bullet does that. Like, electric reload really does feel like it feels like a loved overclock. The way that it got it basically got its penalty changed from damage to ammo, which was just so good for it because it's so efficient. It doesn't need loads of ammo to do a lot of work, and they just really helped it out from a breakpoint perspective by removing the damage penalty. Which, by the way, I don't think it was unjustified, because you could still easily one-shot swarmers by reloading. It was just weird, I guess, to have it not kill a swarm in one shot. I guess. Although I didn't have a huge problem with it. I've always seen electric reload's potential. It's a fantastic overclock. If anything, this is this build. In a lot of ways, an elimination would have been a good pick for this, but I don't know. I didn't really use it on eliminations either in practice. Anyway, here's our first Praetorian. Yeah, not terrible. I definitely didn't hit all the shots though. Not terrible, and it never takes much to finish it off with electric reload. It's just weird. It's just not that impressive. I mean, you can base almost one clip a Praetorian, but then again, it's still just almost. It's not like completely and utterly. Obviously, this is hazard 5. I'm sure on hazard 4 and lower it'll be alright, but I play on hazard 5, so.
Incoming. Smoke him if you got him.
Go! Get to work!
Good evening, sir. How did I miss this weak point both times? Whoa! Good evening, fellas. In fact, this is the kind of thing where I'm probably going to leave these oppressors to last, because as a scout, they don't really pose much of a threat to me anyway. So, we're just going to leave them for the end. Although maybe not entirely. Oh! I thought I successfully dashed through that Stalker's attack. Anyway. Now, I admit electric reload as a crowd clearing tool is somewhat dubious, but it does, but only because it requires you to constantly run and gun. That's okay, you're still going to be killing everything very efficiently, just not very quickly. Stalkers. Okay. Oh dear. Should be a block, like not too far away. Let's find a sick for Quark. Almost thought I saw a second Stalker there. Anyway.
Let there be light.
What's that? Something glowing underneath there. Is it just red sugar? Okay, I think there was actually a second Stalker. And this is definitely just red sugar. Right. Oh, look at that. Oh! Yeah, I mean, I do think gas recycling has something over the clean and the balanced. You know, the Zhukovs are really clean and balanced overclocks. It's only got one of each. I think it has something over them in that it can hit sort of things like guards from any angle and deal decent damage. The other two are quite, I would say, are quite weak point reliant. But it is quite unwieldy. I mean, I'm going to do just a quick accuracy demonstration, I think. I mean, look at that. That's pretty weird, isn't it? Where's this Stalker? I still haven't deposited any gunk seeds, so that's going to be the real challenge of this mission. Gunk seed ferrying.
Follow me.
You give me that. Bosco. I saw some nitro. I wanted him to mine.
I'm out of here.
There it is.
Mine. Squash 'em.
Jesus Christ. Just die. Thank you. Jesus.
I'm
Like, Jesus. Just keep coming back. Though he only came back once, to be fair.
I'm wondering if fighting bugs and moving dirt is the best way to make a living.
Objective completed. Launch controls are active and awaiting your input. Let's bring it home, team.
Yeah, but we're not going yet. I've got gunk seeds to collect, buddy. I don't quite know how. I probably don't need to shoot. It's probably like 3 bullets to do a slasher because I think the electricity effect. I think it does like over 100 damage in the case of electric reload, which is stupid. It's way too strong. I love it, but it's definitely too strong. Anyway, need to get on that gunk seed grind. Grind your gunk seeds. Imagine trying to do this like with the drop pod. It's bad enough doing this without a mule, but it's like I had to just ferry them all to the drop pod instead, like during the extraction phase. Ooh. Wouldn't that be something? Oh. Okay. Yeah. I like seeing the sparks come out of them even when they're dead. Make me sound weird, does it? Probably does. It's okay.
Swarm is upon you.
The swarm is upon you.
Stay by my side, Buffalo.
Really? Okay, so here's a shellback. Which, by the way, shellbacks, I feel like the electrocuting them is so inconsistent. It's really weird. Don't like it. There's something wrong with them. So I'm just going to shoot it. Coming after you. Jesus. That was more precarious than it should have been. Yeah, I gained nothing from shooting the weak point there, by the way. That was arbitrary. That was just positioning. This was a kind of just instinct to shoot the weak point for me for the Praetorian, even though I need to break that because I know that in most cases... I now know in most cases it's not needed because they only have a 1x weak point multiplier. As in, if that is, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, what that means is Praetorians having a 1x weak point multiplier. It means you only actually deal more damage to its weak point than any other flesh if your weapon has a weak point bonus. Unlike most enemies where the weak points are 2 or 3 times, like normal glyphid grunts and stuff, like 2 times, normal Macteras and stuff are 3 times. From direct damage, by the way, from like direct kinetic damage. It's mainly just bullets that deal weak point damage. Like explosions don't, elementals, like pure elements don't, so Cry Cannon, Flamethrower, Sludge Pump, they don't do damage, just weak points, or extra damage. But yeah, so the Praetorian and the Oppressor have 1x weak points, which means you only deal more damage if the weapon has a bonus itself. Obviously, the idea is still like, it's still permanently exposed flesh, and obviously on the Oppressor, it's the only thing you can damage. And on the Praetorian, it's just the easiest part to access. But if your weapon doesn't have a multiplier, it's no different to shooting them in the face where they're unarmored, or shooting their unarmored flesh if you strip the armor with arm breaking. Anyway, so this was a single shot on the slasher, so this is kind of a bit of an experiment. Okay, so I think 2 shots would do the slasher, because I think that was literally only just 1 shot difference. 1 shot did it without the electrocution effect. Okay, we're learning stuff. Stuff that I should have picked up upon ages ago from the many, many hours I've spent using this overclock. Electric reload that is, by the way, not gas recycling. I should say, by the way, I'm probably not going to come out being like negative towards gas recycling either, just not overtly complimentary. I feel like it's got merit. It's just not like an S tier. It's like B tier probably, if I were being generous. Oh, actually, I'm going to hang on, Slasher. I don't actually really want to do that. Wow, that Gunksy went on a ride.
Bosco, time to haul ass.
Time to haul ass. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Light for me, please.
Thank you. Okay, you're gonna grab that one as well.
Let me carry this. Stop 'em dead.
Also, yeah, Slasher Steve. I think most people still go for guards, but slashers are great. Slashers can stun enemies. I mean, come on, they're goated. Guard is great. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of damage, but there are some things that don't change. Like a detonator, for example, it's going to kill the guard either way. I find the slasher's offensive capabilities a bit more practical. Like the slasher will probably do better against a Praetorian than the guard will.
Make another posse. Come here, you blind tin can.
I don't think there aren't any more gunk seeds in this room, so we really do need to. Haven't explored this cave. There could be events around like the corner for all I know, like over in this outcropping.
Time to restock.
There's a gunk seed. Not surprised about that, but there it is.
Lights up.
The swarm is upon you.
HBR.
But yeah, shockers are not good for this. It's why I wish I still wish things like the stun sweeper and the bolt shark with bodkin points, I wish they worked in the sense of using up their damage. Because if that's all it took, like shockers have like 5 health, and I think the sweeper does like 60 damage on hit or something. So it'd be able to kill like what's 60 divided by 5? That should not be difficult for me to. 12. You'd be able to kill like 12 shockers, which isn't crazy. It's not crazy, but that's also per hit. So actually be able to kill a lot more than that. Way more than that. I just realised. Let's say it's 60 per hit. The sweeper does 9 hits, I think, in total. So it would actually be 108. Is that right? Does that sound right at all? It is though, because it's 9 times 12. Maybe it shouldn't do that. Maybe it should. The weird thing is, in a lot of ways, you would expect the accuracy. This overclock, gas recycling, given the Zhukovs' low accuracy, would make them a bit better at close range, and it actually does. So it is a little bit weird that the one where I'm kind of using them more so for crowd clearing, I've actually taken the accuracy mod. I think I know how to justify it. Obviously, there is the primary justification really is just differentiating the builds, to be honest. But still, we'll see what I end up saying about it when we get there. I'm gonna get. I dropped one of them in a hole by accident. Yeah, I need Bosco to get that.
Bosco, what is that?
Wow.
Pick it up, drone. Line is up.
Okay, I was thinking this one might have had a similar fate, but luckily, it's actually quite a secure location. That's not an efficient use of hover boots, by the way, but it is something you can do. Hover boots burn enemies. I think it's worth knowing, at least. But not something you should be trying to like use as an effective tool all the time.
Stay by my side, Bosco.
Well done. Secondary objective completed.
And I think, is there an offshoot over there? There isn't, is there? I think it's just going to be the one offshoot over here. Really all we need to think about. Who knows? There might be a core. Actually, I think I know it's not a core stone because they still have that bug where the characters, the dwarves, always mention the core stone if there's one in the mission, no matter what. Even though there's no reason they should mention it before they find it. Anyway, okay, we're done here. Good. Yeah, I want to test the purity of this. So all I've done is put 2 shots into that slasher and then reloaded. Okay, so it's actually going to be free. Which is kind of what I'd already thought it might be. One for normal grunts. 3 for slashers. Guards are a bit of a different story. And that's why I don't mind using the Zhukovs against them.
Swarm, they're here.
Okay, well we get to combine the swarm with the extraction. Swarm. I don't mind doing that. Put this thing to the test.
We're picking up heavy activity in your vicinity.
By this thing, I mean, I guess I just mean the build. Oh, hello. Oh my god, how did he get naked? Verona watches corn and gets naked.
I'm taking some of the ammo. Red sugar.
And by the way, even though like that snatcher, for example, pretty low health, so I could be wasted a few bullets there. Like a single bullet could have done it easily. But electric reload is just so efficient. Thank God I'm not using it for both builds. No, I could. That betrays the rules of the series. But it's, you know, this mission is going to feel like probably felt like a electric reload showcase, really. Such good overclock. It's like it's so S tier. It's unbelievable.
Light.
Not when you miss, though.
Drop pod is en route. Drop pod has landed.
Okay, let's go.
Ready for
Now then.
takeoff.
Well, actually, you know what I should do, though? I should actually try and just use the Zhukovs a little bit.
Minus 3 minutes.
I mean, when I was just trying to take out grunts there, look how much ammo I used. I used like over 100 bullets, I think. Well, on the you know, all of those grunts were being like a clip on the GK2. I don't know. That's kind of my issue with it. Obviously, you can almost call that an issue with electric reload being overpowered. Yeah, I would agree. I think you could nerf its ammo even more, and electric reload would be perfectly fine. But I think you still saw gas recycling performing satisfactorily against things like Praetorians and pressers and guards, shellbacks, stuff like that. Luckily, well, lucky for me, didn't have anything like spitballers or barrage infectors. Those are pretty rough. It's really difficult to get up close with them like that. But if you can, both spitballers are a bit more of a prevalent example. Spitballers, basically, what you want to do is get pretty close, then basically get close enough where you can comfortably destroy the first shot with the GK2, have the bullet sort of go through and hit it as well, so it's electrocuted, and just jump in. You should be able to kill it before it shoots again. It's pretty tedious, or I guess it's pretty precarious, like it's pretty tight timing, but it is possible. You can definitely kill spitballers before they really pose a threat. Okay, so now for the other build, because the other one, like I said, let's actually quickly go through it. So I used the Drac with impact deflection, and gas recycling built on the blow-through upgrade. My philosophy behind this was, part of me was just initially going for something I'm very comfortable with on the Drac, and that kind of made sense, but I've realised what I was doing actually made a bit more sense than just that. What's really going on here is that you have two weapons that are both decent crowd clearing and single target, except they basically cover it for each other's use cases or non-use cases. The Drac here with impact deflection basically has mastery over the terrain, where the Zhukovs don't, basically. Not that Zhukovs have a particular strength, they more so have a strength in tunnels, I guess, so that's what it is. It's like, flat areas, the Zhukovs are better. Non-flat areas, the Drac is better. And that's basically when you use them for crowd clearing or not, and then the other one for like single target. So for example, if I'm in a flat corridor, the Zhukovs are coming out. They're going to be able to pierce enemies pretty easily, just shooting down the lane. But the Drac, where is it really going to go? Where's the splash projectile really going to go? Or the bouncing projectile? But if I were to shoot the Praetorian with my Drac, combining the impact deflection with the plasma splash, I shoot like just below the Praetorian's mouth, and I do loads of single target damage to it. So these are both pretty good tools for that. So I've got fire rate and ammo here, hot feet because it's just the best thing there, and plasma splash. Manual heat dump helps as well. That means we can activate hot feet earlier, just for general safety purposes. Zhukovs, we took the ammo in tier 1. I basically found that you're going to have to take blow through with this anyway. Basically, I found you don't lose much of a breakpoint by not taking damage mods when it comes to grunts, which in this case are the most important breakpoint for our Zhukovs. Reload speed felt apt here as well, because sometimes we are going to want to be able to just shoot for prolonged periods of time, and yeah, of course, blow through is a major thing, and get in, get out. We will absolutely be emptying our clip most of the time, and we don't have electricity to take advantage of. We do with the IFGs, but they're really just there to help group enemies together. But at the same time, we don't have any weapon that is super strong at single target, so the IFG helps with that. Where, you know, pheromones would make sense for sure, but they don't help with single target damage. So the IFG, even though we have 6 of them, they make enemies take more damage. It's an okay thing to use against like an oppressor or a bulk detonator or something like that, where pheromones is really only for crowds, you know? So I think it makes sense. So in that light, what is an appropriate mission to show off these sort of notions. Definitely not that. Definitely not. Yeah, honestly, that would be actually okay, but I don't want to do another point extraction. So, I've done this before actually. I did a deep scan of this, and it was actually okay. So let's do this. Deep scan in sandblasted corridors is always fun. Most things in sandblasted corridors are always fun, and deep scans are always fun. In fact, what mission type isn't? Oh, point extraction in sandblasted corridors isn't fun. Bigger point extractions, they just go off the walls. They're ridiculous. I barely do those. Like that's probably my least played mission. I've probably played less. I mean, it's quite specific, but I've probably played less 10 acquired point extractions on the sandblasted corridors than I've played maximum length and complexity escort duties on the magma core. Maybe. I don't know. Something about point extraction and sandblasted corridors just goes haywire. Anyway, speaking of haywire, deep scan can potentially have a chaotic start. So impact deflection is very good against swarmers. Yeah, hopefully we'll get the good sort of blend of terrain types that suit the two weapons differently. Which is it was kind of a nice realization, is that I tapped into something somewhat specific without realizing it, where it's like they're quite specialized to different types of terrain, and that felt like a good thing I'd sort of just subconsciously figured out. Because I initially wanted to use the M1000 actually with this. I wanted to do like hipster, I think. Hipster, but like 4 focus shots, which is a thing, by the way, because the reason why that is a thing is because you can build hipster by taking more damage. You can build hipster to pretty handily one-shot grunts with the focus shots. It works out pretty well. Yeah, things like Praetorians we might end up using a mixture of the two weapons on as well. Raj Infector. Yeah, not super efficient Zhukovs there. Also, I'm pretty sure Bosco just blocked like a lot of bullets. Piece of shit. Yeah, got impact deflection with Planter Splash is such a good combo on the Drak. It's lovely. The Drak is such a good weapon. I love it. S tier weapon, easily. I can't believe it still has its doubters. Crazy. It's just got such a good overclock selection. Some of them are overpowered. I would say aggressive venting is overpowered. It's stupid. So strong. Anyway, so apart from that Stalker... In fact, you don't need to see the Stalker. I'm going to go find a Resonance Crystal, I think. If a group of Macteras didn't just show up. Now, Macteras, actually, in this case, perfect for the Zhukovs because they were lined up quite well. That was actually pretty nice. But oftentimes, the Drak is going to... Especially if they're quite close together, both... Actually, when it comes to close together Mactera, you kind of need to be close together for this build. Neither weapon does well against sparsely placed Macteras in this build. And that's why when it comes to things like Goo Bombers, we don't have a really rock-solid answer to a Goo Bomber. So you're kind of lucky that Goo Bombers just aren't the most tanky things anyway. Anyway, I need to find a Resonance Crystal. Well, I've got Swarming coming, and basically I have access to a tight corridor. We'll see if I end up using it. I know the cave expands a little bit here. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Or stone. Right, this grunt swarm, I know what to do with this. Molly, go outside. Sorry. No! Molly! No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said. Now, the thing is, especially with the way those grunts were placed, I actually would have preferred to be using my Drak there, to be honest, because they were sort of scattered around like the ceilings and walls, and the projectiles would have just bounced around and done loads of damage. Anyway, we need a grunt, we need a beastie, a Stevie. Still, that was kind of gas recycling operating at maximum capacity when it comes to crowd clearing. So definitely not bad, but I still sort of wallow at the efficiency, which I just still don't find particularly impressive. Okay. I think that went fairly well. Lost a bit more health than I would have liked, but let's just bully this Praetorian. Impact deflection's just, ooh, it's got it. It's got that thing going on. I don't know what that thing is, but it's got it. Anyway, so how much nice do I have? Okay, yeah, we'll do this core stone. It's actually a good idea, I think.
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
Plenty of nitro around as well.
Time to restock. Molly. Molly carries minerals, and we shoot bugs in mine. Dwarf life in a nutshell. Go
Right,
fetch.
let's do it.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
I guess I'm going to be using the Zhukovs for the actual thing itself, to be honest.
Stay clear of the rifts. They are dangerous.
Core stone itself. Especially because the way that creepers move, or not, they're not creepers, they're crawlers. The way that crawlers move, and the sort of precision that the Zhukovs necessitate, I'm going to be more comfortable just doing this to them. Although, that wasn't so bad.
It's overheating. I gotta watch the overheating. Mine. You are fast, but you are dead.
You're fast, but you're dead. Oh dear.
Booyah! Enemy so down. Flares recharging. Die, you cosmic horror! Rubbish and quick. Help me with the minerals here. It's over. Watch your back. The crawlers are all over the place. On it, yeah. Oh, I'm out of here.
Hey, that also went fairly well. That nitro gold is gold.
Core stone secured. Let's send it up.
I mean, I do need to use another resupply now, but that's okay, because we need to move on anyway. That was fairly succinct, and when the Causebomb were lining themselves up, I was able to use the Zhukovs on occasion, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Ammo taken.
I did say the Overclock wasn't bad. All I said was that it wasn't great. What's that doing up there? Why is that up there? What the fuck? Okay, ugh. Right, I'll go and put that away. I just heard an ambush wave spawn actually. I think I heard a warden. Yeah, looks like it.
No
Okay.
fares ready. Really need to provide better equipment. Never kill yourself.
I definitely used up more health there than I needed to. But kind of saw the Drac just devastate that group. Because when it comes down to it, you can power through Wardens. Obviously, the IFG did lots to counteract it there. The IFG was probably bringing the Grunts down to a normal level of health, to be honest. But still. Like, when it comes down to it, you can power through the buff that the Wardens give enemies. It's just, obviously, if you can avoid it, you should kill them if you can.
I need a
Before
damn
you
mine
take care of the
artist.
rest.
Where is it?
Hey, let's find another resonance crystal, I guess. She found some fellas. There's a Victorian here, for example, who looks very excited.
Flares up.
Thanks, let's do some stuff. Okay. Oh, he wasn't actually in the IFG. Still, did about half his health.
It's overheated.
The Zhukov piercing through.
It's hidden somewhere here.
Go. I found the treasure.
Lie down forever.
You actually get quite lucky with the situations that we put in this. They are very, very complementary to this gas recycling build.
Lights up.
Action time.
Damn it!
A swarm will be upon you shortly.
I almost got,
Beard off.
like, out of swarm territory. Once you've scanned all the resonance crystals, swarms can't spawn, basically.
Found it. Requesting a resonance scanner. Light is up.
Swarm! I repeat, swarm!
You shouldn't be resistant. Yes, it's overheated. Got the sand shard. Throw grenade.
Okay, well, given the ammo situation, I think it's the Drac's time to shine.
That goddamn overheating. Inhibitor field up.
Oh, how is that Warden still alive?
Flipping one down. It's overheated.
Oh, leave me alone.
Heal is significantly diminished. Well done, team.
Not again. Clear. Recharging. See you, sucker. It's overheated. Warden down. Now kill the rest of the aberration.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay. We're alright. We're okay. And now no enemies will spawn, so I'm safe. It doesn't even matter that I have barely any ammo. Yeah, I think it's been holding it pretty well.
Where is it?
As in the Overclock. Been doing pretty good work. I wouldn't say impressed is not the word I would use, but satisfied maybe. I don't think I'm dissatisfied with its performance.
Elevator time, miners. Check your gear before you hit the switch. Good luck.
Anyway, I'm gonna get to the Drillivator. Okay, so we're at the Drillivator. Now I guess it's worth thinking about how this is gonna perform in this kind of scenario. Because You'd think that blow through would be good, and in some ways it is, but you'd think it'd be good because obviously you're shooting up at enemies and you could potentially be shooting up through them. But when you look at like this terrain, for example, you're not often at this kind of angle. The drill elevator is sort of slightly offset from the walls themselves. You're not going to be looking up. It's very difficult to look up directly vertically at the enemies. I think I will try and do it, but Plasma Smash works well though, because you kind of just have this kind of effect where, you know, projectiles bounce around the tunnel, the vertical tunnel. It works quite well, but I don't think we're going to be in like dire straits with this. I think we're going to be okay. Look at that guy. What does that remind you of? Brilliant. Sorry for being so quiet. I'm just kind of locking in for a bit, and it seems to be working. Okay, we should be good for the rest of the journey, I think, in terms of repairing. Come on, why can't I tame him? Actually, we might need to do a bit more repairing, actually. Shit. My Xbox is way too loud for this Deep Rock. I need to clean it properly, I think. Very worrying sounds. Oh, I actually have enough nitro to call in a resupply. Oh. Wait, no, I need to deposit some first. There we go! We made it! Safe and sound. I think it actually went really well. Also, I do kind of have the benefit with the doubt of Scout, which is I don't put on more enemies. I don't use Hazard 5 Plus at all, usually, when it's Scout. So he does have a bit of leeway there, but I think that's perfectly justifiable. I think most people understand Scout is positioned a little bit differently in terms of strength. And you kind of have to, you just have to acknowledge that. I feel like. I think it would be more dishonest to me to have the difficulty be higher, you know? Be less honest to a Scout's strengths. I understand Scout is solo in the sense that he's good at speedrunning, but he is aside from that context, he is definitely the worst solo class. I think engineer is not far off. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know if I necessarily see the classes like that anymore though, or at least not as strong as I used to. I definitely used to see Scout as a solo, basically blacklisted from playing solo, but I don't think that's the case. He's definitely playable solo, but I do think his third gen weapons did a lot for that. Like, let's say we got into Season 5, we got Hazard 5 Plus without the third generation of weapons, so the Drak and the Bolt Shark in Scout's case. I don't think he would be really faring. I don't think he did any chance in Hazard 5 Plus, to be honest.
Drop pod has arrived. The mule has been called back. Drop pod departing in T-minus...
So I love that the flares basically, they do have like fall off, but they don't come back down. I'm a fool. I'm an idiot.
Line is up.
I'm a mongoloid.
Get out of here. It's overheated. Flares up.
Okay, let's go pure. Once again, extraction phase, go pure Zhukovs. Okay, I can do that. That'll be alright.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Move it. Enemy stoked out.
Yep, Steve. Fuck you, Steve. That actually feels really mean.
Think you can kill me? Well, think again.
Oh! Trijal's damaging itself. Nice.
The mule has docked.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. That's gas recycling. Yeah, I would say
Escape pod.
overall actually pretty satisfactory performance. It's an okay overclock. You know, it does good damage, armor breaking. The ability to do decent single target damage without worrying about where you're shooting the enemy from is quite nice. Not entirely. You can't shoot an oppressor from the front. And it's okay at crowd clearing under the right circumstances. Using the blow through, lining enemies up. It's not it's not a sibling to inefficiency, if that works as a phrasing of the concept. It's okay. It's good. It's B tier. I'd give it a B. I think pretty firmly. Anyway, God, these kind of things don't. Unfortunately, sorry for the miscellaneous sounds there, just in the chat, but these things do not promote good posture. Let's look at those gold rushes. It'd be nice to have pots of gold, wouldn't it? The dark morkite. So yeah. Now it's gas recycling. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more stuff like this and you want to stay on top of everything, do Deep Rock and Road Corn. Also make sure to click the bell. As always, thank you to our lovely member, Boxfox Scoot. And now it is time to find out what next week's Overclock is going to be. I, for some reason, had somehow convinced myself it was going to be the Shard Diffractor, but obviously it's not. And also, did I get RG250 last time? I guess I must have done, right? I have this weird like mental block. It's like I feel like I haven't done the flamethrower. Just, you know, bullshit. But I really want to check. But either way, yeah. So next week is going to be Breach Cutter, which in the case of we've done high voltage crossover, which leaves a lot of good stuff on the table. I think the Breach Cutter, what's cool about it, I think it's all of its overclocks are interesting because of how the weapon works, basically. Even these two are interesting because you can still take them in such distinct directions. I think that's what you get when you have such a tight ammo pool. It's small changes change a lot with how you might end up using the weapon. So I'm actually happy to use any of these. In fact, the lowest down on my sort of desirability list of like using, definitely Return to Sender, I would say. I'm not fiending to use Return to Sender necessarily. Oh. Wait, what's going on? Hold on. Hold on. I think my brain's melting. My brain's actually melting. What's going on? Hold on. I need to look at the ones I have recorded. I went from... Oh shit. Have I fucked up, like, in a really weird way? Not in a way that's like, obviously, not in a way that's like, I can't come back from. But just in a really weird way. I might have done. So I did volatile bullets, then magnetic cooling unit. I did bulldog, then EPC. That's not right, is it? So it starts on gunner and ends on engineer. And we got to the secondaries. So it should have been the Gen 1 secondaries. But it wasn't. I've done Gen 2 for no reason. Yeah, because these were the first of the bunch. And it goes to high voltage crossover. Okay. I think what I'm going to have to do... Okay. Yeah, so it's actually... Not only is it not the shard diffractor, it's not the breach cutter either. I think what I'm going to do is basically flip the Gen 1 and 2s. I'm going to have to. So I've done EPC and Zhukovs. I'll do the PGL next. Then it'll be the Burt and the Sabata and the Boomstick. And then the breach cutter. And then I can do the Gen 3 ones contained. Okay, right, what was the... Okay, what the hell? That's so weird. And I wanted to use the PGL as well. Okay, what was the PGL one I did last time? Was it Pack Rat? Was it Pack Rat? I think it might have been. I'm just going to find out. This is so stupid. It was Pack Rat. Okay. Thought so. So, what does that mean? So, basically, how this works, you've been seen this before. Basically, I number the overclocks from left to right, top to bottom. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this leaves out number 5, which does not line up with how I have the wheel set up currently. There it is. It says me after a long day at the long day factory. I'm going to have to basically untie this and just knock out 5, actually. That's all I need to do. That's fine. And let's find out what my PGL overclock's going to be. I don't know how I... So weird. And I'm open to anything. So, oh, really, that one? I mean, it's good. It's really good, but it's also fucking RG250. This guy. That guy. RG250 compound. The strongest overclock on the PGL. Okay, fine. I don't know how to build it in more than one way, to be honest. But I'll try. I'll try my best. In fact, I kind of have an idea. It's just I don't know how I'm going to do it without incendiary compound. Because ideally, one of them wouldn't use incendiary compound. But what's the other option? You make a build that's only about using the blast wave to like jump. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so after that, just absolute shambles. God, I like how I managed to record 2 episodes like incorrectly. I could flip them. No, I can't. I know I'm ahead on recordings, but I still don't think I can really justify doing that. It's me. Anyway, it's only the end of the video, so I'm going to, I guess, have the gas recycling themed drink.
A round of Mactera brew, please.
Although maybe the other one would made more sense. What's the other one? You know, let's do both. The other one being gut wrecker.
Nothing clears a clog like a gut wrecker. That sucks.
Right, after something like Mactera brew, gut wrecker is probably what you want, actually.
Oh yeah.
Making me feel kind of ill.
Oh yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Bye.